again, all I can tell you is go to him directly.
Yes.
Don't trust, because the Bible even say don't trust no man. Don't trust no man.
And it was written by a man and rewritten by another man.
You're right.
And broke down by that man.
Right. And that's why I said, if you want to have a God like this serious,
You gotta go to the source.
go straight to
Go
God.
straight to the source. I got
We're
you.
going to go beeline straight to Jehovah's God.
What is good, everybody? We are back once again with another hot Pew Babies episode. And I know you say, well, looks like they got another guest. That is right. And that is none other than Nook. And he is from Please Advise. You may not know this. Go on to YouTube, type it in, and you can find everything about it. And you'll find out more about it after this episode today. He is here because and congratulations are in order.
Yes.
Because you just recently won the best STL podcast.
I did. Thank you.
So, you know, you do not fret small beginnings, and to win in St. Louis,
Yes.
you know the hate is strong.
I ran a tough campaign. No, thank you guys so much. Thanks so much.
So we are honored that you will come and grace us with your presence today. I know we're going to have a good conversation about a variety of things.
Absolutely.
So we just going to jump right in.
Let's go. I'm ready.
All right. See, that's what we like. You come ready.
Yes.
Ready to go.
So let's start off with what inspired you to start the podcast and leading to your set. We'll just jump in right there.
All right. So a couple of years ago, I guess it has always kind of been, I don't know, a childhood dream of mine to be a talk show host.
Okay.
So when I first started, I didn't even like to refer to my show as a podcast because I literally wanted it to be a talk show. Like the old Grace, Arsenio Hall, Ricky Lake, Jenny Jones. Like, I've always loved talk show hosts, so I wanted to be there. So anyway, life didn't take me there, of course. So a couple of years ago, I got to talking with my group of friends, like, hey, I should, start a podcast because that's what everybody was doing. And they was like, yeah, you should. Yes, you should. So I put it off. And then more recently, my very best friend passed away. Initially, we had talked for a while about doing a show together, but when he passed away, that of course ended that. And I wanted a way to, I guess, honor his memory. More so than, him as the person, but I wanted something that I would always remember him for, what I'm saying, my own thing. So a month after he passed away, literally probably to the day, I launched my first episode of Please Advise. The name Please Advise, I'm sure anybody that's been read any email in any corporate setting has always seen that phrase, Please Advise. So, and me and him, we used to say that to each other a lot, like when we on the phone, like in certain situations, hey, this happened at work, please advise, what should I do? Or, any situation. So it's just, it was going to be our thing. It was going to be Please Advise anyway. So, and then that's how the name came about.
And I mean, it's a catchy phrase that, like you said, everyone have seen it or heard it in some shape, form, or fashion.
Exactly.
So once you did the first episode, going from there, did you see immediate success? Tell us about that process.
Okay, so a lot of trial and error.
Okay.
If anybody starts any platform and they first episode looks like they fifth episode, I feel like they ain't really in it. And I say that because once that camera cuts on, and y'all probably know this too, when y'all did y'all first episode, once that camera cuts on, it completely changes the whole dynamic. Like, everybody thinks it's so easy. You set up a camera, you sit in the chair, you smile, you talk about stuff. But I tell you, when you cut that camera on, it completely changes. So my first episode, when I first started, I thought I was gonna do like Q&A. Have people write in questions and I give my, advice.
Right.
So when I started my first episode, I never forget, I cut that camera on, I sat in my back room, and literally it took me no less than 8 hours to produce probably that 10-minute episode.
Really?
Because you was trying to get it right.
Right.
If you go back to season 1, episode 1, you will see me sitting on, my little futon or whatnot, and I started my show. Literally, it's probably like 12-minute episode, but I promise I sat in that back room for no less than 8 hours. Wow. And I'm a smoker, so I'm smoking cigarette after cigarette. I'm thinking about what I'm gonna say. I want everything to be perfect. Yeah. I probably had to change the camera battery at least twice. Wow. From me cutting it on and starting, and me just like literally staring at it. Yeah. So the first couple of episodes, very bumpy, but I made it through. And then I decided to have a guest on. Once I had somebody sitting next to me,
change the dynamic.
I knew I could never do it by myself again. Okay. At that point, I knew I didn't want a quote unquote co-host. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I did want it to be mine. But I knew I needed somebody else to talk to in the room. Yeah. So
makes it much easier.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yes, it does.
Oh my God.
We definitely
because even when it just we do our own episodes and we have seen the dramatic difference of versus when it's just and it's both of us, right? But we still have to chemistry, bounce off and once and all the above. Exactly. And when we have someone like yourself today, I don't say we're not prepared because we definitely stay prepared, but it definitely makes a much easier flow because now you got a whole nother dynamic.
Right. You got somebody else to talk to, somebody to bounce words off of almost. You know what I mean? Just like in any conversation, when you are talking to somebody, you do kind of either adapt to a little bit of how they talk or they adapt to how you talk.
That's right.
And it's hard to do that talking to yourself. You don't know how to respond, because you say stuff and you might think it's funny, but if ain't nobody else there, you don't want to laugh, so listen, those creators who do it by themselves,
Kudos.
You have my respect. I need somebody to talk to.
Because I know I was telling her, being that just to go into that segment, when I was watching some of the episodes, and on this episode, I can't remember the individual, it was a rapper. And you had mentioned how you was, thanking them for coming on the show and all that. And it was a question that was posed. I can't remember because, we watch and do so much.
Exactly.
But I told her, I said, you had brought up, you said, I just stepped out. Yeah. And I just sent you a message. Yeah. I've got no's, I've got yes, and you just so happen to say yes.
And you just so happen to say yes.
And I told her, I said, we have to start stepping out on faith more and just ask. And you never know.
You never know.
Yeah. And we thank you for that advice that you gave because we used it. I'm serious. We really used it for this season and we really said, okay, we're going to be intentional about our interviews and we're going to be intentional about our topic and our subject matter. And we intentionally have, like, he stepped out and asked some people that we never thought would say
and we got some big interviews this season.
Listen,
you included.
I love it. I love
it.
We
started with you.
It came from you.
Yeah. See how that thing come on back?
I every single time. Listen, I love everything about it. And that is absolutely true. I think, and I can't remember the exact conversation we had that led up to that, but I do remember that part of the conversation. And
I let you know we've been watching.
Listen,
you did your homework.
I have been impressed since I walked in. So
we treat people right, y'all.
They do. You see my water. So stop. So when No. So once I finished out season 1, the guests for that season that I had come on with me was, of course, friends that I already knew. Yeah. They were easy to talk to, and all that type of stuff. So, but when I went into season 2, is when that episode is what you're talking about, when I started reaching out to people. Like, I literally started being more in between seasons. I started doing my homework. I started reaching out, started watching other people's podcasts, kind of how they start doing their stuff. And I was like, you know what? I wonder if I just bring like random people. You know what I mean? It seems like a snap decision and what you should do, but like I just said, it's more of a decision than people think it is. Yeah. Because for one, you're inviting a complete stranger into your home.
Yes.
Into your home. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Some people have the luxury of doing their podcast at locations.
Studios.
You know what I'm saying? So it's different. But for me,
one day we'll be there.
Right. So I'm in my spare bedroom. So to think of, for one, inviting somebody into your house.
Exactly.
That's one thing.
Because we talked about this. She was like, do you feel comfortable? I'm like, well, it's doing it for the greater good, and if they tried, I'm ready. But
right. And then the second thing is, everybody can't host. Everybody can't host. Like, I haven't been, on a lot of people's platforms, but the few that I've been on, you can definitely tell who puts effort into that part of it. Like the on-screen time and all of this is great. We
Right,
need that.
right.
But you also need to, like we just said before we got on here, you need to set that tone.
Yes.
People need to feel welcome. They need to
Exactly.
feel unjudged. They need to feel like their time is valued. All those things. But those are things that people learn. But I just feel like a lot of people don't put enough effort into that part. They don't. They don't.
And that can turn people off.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen, I saw a couple of episodes and y'all talked about it before, but I want to circle back to it a little bit about how the church is, not very welcoming to
People.
So
we were going to, so you would open the door.
I wanted to make that point because a lot of people talked about it, but you have to set the tone. If I walk into your church, I already, for one, have an apprehension because I know how y'all think.
Yeah.
I know how y'all think. So that's already one. So for me to have the courage to step through those doors because I want to receive, hopefully, a positive, message.
What God has for you.
It's hard, and you feel singled out. You do. Like, I know when they give their sermon, they have to talk about somebody.
They really don't, though. You can just use the word. It's a whole 66 books of content.
That's content. But
And give them the number of books.
Because I know the word. The word is hidden in mine heart.
That's
right. But to teach a lesson, you have to tell a story. That story has a character.
And you don't have to attack people though either.
That's the point that I'm trying to make.
There's plenty of characters that you
There's
can
plenty
use.
of characters you can use. You don't have to always relate every story to a real life scenario. Sometimes
Don't say what that scenario is.
stick to.
Because I know you want to say it.
Because whom the Son sets free is free indeed, and you are free.
I told you we're going to be real, so go on and say it.
Okay, so the last time I went to church, this was many, many moons ago. I was still in the military, and one of my shipmates, he was like, "Hey, I'm looking for a church home here. You want to go to church now?" Growing up, we went to church when I was younger. Our parents made us go.
Right.
But once we, got into our teenage years, it was kind of, if you want to go, they didn't, they believed in God and all that type of stuff, but we didn't go to church every Sunday or nothing
I
like that.
wish.
So,
Mandatory, yeah.
but what was mandatory is that we watched church services on TV.
Okay.
So every Sunday, we watched church services in the morning from like 9 to maybe noonish, because they had their programs that they wanted to watch, and of course we watched with them. And then, after that, we was free to go.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to where I was going, we went to church, and it just seemed like, I guess for that day, it was of course talking about homosexuality. Now, at that time, I wasn't not out. I didn't. That's another conversation. But during that time, I was not out. However, I knew.
Yeah.
So I felt very much so attacked in that moment.
Okay.
In that although I was living a straight life, you know what I'm saying, I still felt attacked by that sermon. And I've not been to a church other than for a funeral or a wedding since then.
Wow.
And see, that's deep because that could have been your one time.
It could have been. It could have been. I mean, and it was a beautiful church. It was big. They had thousands of members. It was a huge down south church. And the choir was amazing. Like if I could have just got a soundtrack of that choir, I would have been good. But
When Paul said that, y'all heard it. It's the second time. We had heard music played a big part.
It did.
So,
It did.
make
I've
sure
always
y'all sound
loved
good.
gospel music, though. Well, let me rephrase that. I've always loved the way gospel singers sing.
Okay.
It's not so much the gospel music, but I love the way they sing, the riffs, the runs, the melodies, all that type of stuff. I've always
They
loved
be
that
singing.
style of
Down.
singing. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So I've always enjoyed that. So to hear it live in a church is an experience. It should be.
A live experience.
It should be.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, the choir was amazing. So I did go a couple of more times before that sermon, but we had went like maybe 2 or 3 times leading up to that particular time. So, but when that time happened, that's when for some reason I did feel singled out, and I guess maybe it was my own guilt. In
So
hindsight,
that could have truly been what was going on.
Right.
Because we know that definitely does happen.
it does, but I can't just say that.
Yeah.
I can't say that because it's not like I went in there with a full wig and all that type of stuff. So
Okay, right,
I can't say that.
Right.
But there are some that do that.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
But when I heard the way that preacher preached that part of his sermon, it completely turned me off. Not only from that church, but from religion probably as a whole. And I don't I'm not gonna say I don't believe in God, but what I am gonna say is I'm not sure I agree with the narrative that the church pushes. That's what I will say about that.
That's a mouthful that you just said right there.
That's what I
because
would
on
say
some
right
levels, we just got done doing an episode where, you know, we were talking about certain narratives, you know what I'm saying, certain behaviors, you know, and I can agree with you that you can believe in God and also not agree with the narrative that the church pushes, because God is not always in their narrative. Sometimes their personal opinion is infused into the narrative, you know, and I think this generation we're learning how to separate what God is actually saying from what the man
Ain't we?
is actually
And they
saying.
can't accept that we have a mind to decipher the two.
Listen, for all the new generation's flaws, and I call them flaws because it's different from what we probably used to. What I do admire about them is that they stand their ground, they say what's on their mind, and it's really hard to push bull crap through them.
Yeah.
I will say that. Now, sometimes I feel like they may be a little sensitive here and there, but at the same time, they are, when they believe in something, they believe with such conviction that it's hard to argue it. And not only is it hard to argue it, they gang up in numbers and they form groups, and it's like, you know what?
They'll start moving on you real quick.
What they will
We
do.
know because we had them come against us. So.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Oh,
yes.
try. They tried.
Yeah, try. Yeah, that's a good. And failed.
And you failed miserably.
That's why we still sitting here.
And
I'm gonna sip on that.
No.
Hey, I'm gonna sit with you.
But yeah, I mean, everything you just said, and we have a business associate whom we love very dearly. She was saying the same thing. She wrote a book about it. I don't know what the title of the new book is, but she has one called The Process. And she talks about that very thing that you just talked about, how, you know, she knew who she was.
Right.
Okay. And she knew that, well, I want God as well. You know what I mean? And so she took it upon herself to make certain decisions in her life, for her.
Yeah.
And she expressed in her book how that judgmentalism, legalism in church about, you know, first thing she said, now I'm coming to God, right? I'm just me coming myself. And I've expressed, you know, that I'm interested in having a relationship with Christ. And she said the first thing that the, you know, mothers took her in the back and said, you're going to need to start coming out these pants and changing your hair and all of that. And she said that's what turned her completely off. And then turned her off for years after the fact.
Yeah.
You know
Didn't go
what
back
I mean?
to church for a
Didn't
while.
go back. She
I haven't been back.
and that's what I'm saying. You could be right here in this part of your life where she was. You know what I mean? This could be the same season for you that she was in, but she expressed that eventually she came back around because what she learned was them people got issues.
And they people.
And they people.
And they are people.
And it's so sad because we don't have a God standing right here.
Right.
You know what I mean? God can't say, I ain't say that.
Yeah.
That ain't me. I ain't in that. That ain't what I said in my word. We don't have a person here to say, to rebuke that behavior. So we think we've associated bad behavior, ugly behavior with the character and nature of God, and the two are completely separate. Now, I don't mean to preach to you, but
listen, I'm receiving.
I don't know why God had me say that. Maybe you needed to hear that.
Maybe I needed to hear it because I've not had this type of conversation since then. I've heard these conversations being had, but I've never been a part of one because one, I know sometimes how I talk. I don't want to offend anybody's religion.
No, I ain't offended.
No, but I'm saying.
Yeah, some people be like,
we know how some people can be.
Right, and I know how I can be.
Yes.
So not only am I going to do,
So I have a mouth without you.
Yeah.
So I stay away from certain conversations.
Yeah.
So like I said, this is the first time that I've had that conversation, and thank you guys for allowing me to have it because I feel like it's been sitting, not necessarily on my chest, but it's been sitting. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, we
come on, Pew Babies.
Well, we try to do it because it's people out there just like you who have been turned off and said they're not thinking about church, nothing about church, and not that our show is just strictly church,
It's not.
because you can't, in order to win and draw people and have them open their mind to want to have a relationship, not just with church, the main person is God.
Exactly.
Because that long as you're in place with him,
Right.
the church can't say or do nothing.
No.
But it's a lot of people out there just like you,
Yeah.
where I don't want nothing to do. Just like some of the videos we were just talking about. Have you know Kim Burrell?
Yes.
Okay, and you know how she was going off
do.
and all.
I do.
And see, the main thing we're trying to get people to understand, this is not everybody.
It's not. It's not. But when it's the leadership,
Well, I'm gonna look at
I want to make this point
look at the Catalog.
because again, as we started the episode with setting the tone.
Yeah.
This ain't my show, but
Come on,
but we've been talking about setting tones. So I feel like as the leadership of any organization, you set the tone. If you have a condescending, judgmental, narrow-minded view of people,
Laughing at him.
Because I'm gonna look.
then how else am I to believe that the rest of the organization is? Because again, you're the leadership. They follow you.
And you're the
First and
representation of God.
And first impression is everything.
So if this was my only introduction to who God is, since we don't have a person named God that exists,
Say more. Say more.
then
Say more.
you know this is my open door. This is my first time being introduced to Christ. Then I don't want him based on the presentation that you just have given me.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I can't even get to know God because of this wall right here.
This ugliness that
Oh,
you
it's
just,
ugly. Oh, it's ugly.
And I think we're so sensitive to people in your positions because we have been there. You know what I'm saying? Even though we Pew Babies, truly, honestly and truly,
Right.
have grown up, family, all in leadership. You know, we've been in leadership positions ourselves.
Yeah.
It's young people, not old. I'm talking about
Right.
teenagers. We've been in
Right.
leadership positions ourselves. We know what it is to give yourself to your organization. We know what it is to give and give and give and pour out your
fully
spirit,
throw yourself in.
and then to be dissed. You know what I mean? We know we've been dissed so many times. So we're sensitive
Yes.
to a person like yourself, your plight, because we've been dissed by the same people that dissed you. And then you just came and visited. Just imagine if you had poured out years of your life.
Imagine if I had experienced it differently. And-
Yeah, I'm gonna let it go.
And I, stood up when they called people to Jesus, and I went up there and I, cried my tears. And I don't mean to make it seem like a dramatic, but I mean, because that's what
It
people
is
do.
dramatic.
It is. But I mean, so what if I had done all that and truly, truly opened my heart and said, you know what, this is what I want to do. And then if I had come back the next week with my brand new Bible, because I'm ready. I want to be,
Zeal for the Lord now.
Yeah.
period. And then they have a different type of speech. And now I'm
Confused.
not only confused, I'm heartbroken.
You
I'm
feel
heartbroken.
betrayed.
Ooh.
Well, this is what I want to say to you.
Come on.
What we've learned is you don't have to go to the building to access God. If at any point in your life, because I don't know if I'm gonna see you tomorrow, we intend on coming and break bread. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if at any point in your life, if you sitting in your spare bedroom or you in your bed and you just like, you know what, I think I'm ready to pursue a relationship, pursue that thing. Reach out to God yourself. You see what I'm saying? Say, you know what, God, I'm interested in having a relationship with you. I need you to show yourself, reveal yourself to me, show me how to pursue a relationship with you, and I guarantee you,
He'll show himself.
he will show himself. I'm telling you what I've been through and what I did.
And you'd rather him show himself than have to be bothered with the church.
Because then you'll know for sure, like, oh, that was the Lord.
And that was what love really is.
Exactly.
I have yet to have that experience.
And let's just say, if at any point in your life,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, recall
And-
this conversation.
And I'm so serious.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna have to be for me.
Oh, he know how to do.
He's gonna have to show me.
Yeah.
He, she, whoever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
need to be shown.
Yeah.
And I
And he
don't say
will.
and I don't say that from a place of like from a hard stance.
You
No,
come
I
from a real
understand.
place.
I'm so serious.
Yeah.
Like
I'm the same way.
You don't realize how many people feel like you feel right now.
Right.
That's gonna be watching. They're gonna be like, you know what? I feel that exact same way, but I just wasn't able to have the conversation
Right.
for someone to understand
Yeah.
and come from a level of not being judgmental,
Oh my God,
not
that is.
attacking me,
Right.
making me feel like because of what my sin is, because it's coded to be the biggest sin of all, that I'm worthless. I'm not worth anything.
Go ahead.
I struggle with, is it really a sin? I'm not going to say I've done my own research, but I have watched several people have commentary on that subject. And I have maybe Googled here, Googled there, because sometimes people talk a lot and you like,
Quiet the noise.
You gotta study for yourself.
Yeah. So, as I understand, certain words in the Bible have been translated over time through many different dialects and languages.
That's right.
So, is it really a sin? I know y'all don't know. I know y'all don't
You gotta
know.
be specific what you're talking about, boy.
We know what he's talking about.
I know what you're
I
talking
feel
about.
like you know.
We know what you're talking
Feel
about.
But we want to make sure they know what we're talking about. They probably do too.
Okay, so
slow.
I won't say homosexuality
Oh, I'm sorry.
as a whole. No, because I mean I don't feel like it's a sin for me to find another man attractive.
And then
I don't feel like
let's
that's sin.
get this
I
understanding
feel
too.
like-
Sin is sin, no matter what it is. Ain't none greater than us.
Yes, but I'm still is it a sin? I don't know if it's a sin. If God created us in His own image, I understand that sometimes people's images appear differently depending on how you look at them. So, who's to say that in some of His image is homosexuality? Who's to say that?
Well, here's my advice to you. Go to God. Ask God. Seriously. Because there's not an answer that we could give you.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? And that's what I'm saying. You know,
To
God.
give you answers from our own perspective.
Exactly.
Yes.
God has a way of revealing things to you in a way, because I'm only speaking from experience.
Yes.
God has a way of revealing things to you in a way you know you understood that, and you'll be able to receive that, and you'll be able to eat on that meat for years. You
Right.
see what I'm saying?
Right.
Years and years, and you'll be able to chew on that thing. And then God is patient. He got time. He got all. He owns time.
All of it.
He ain't got nothing but time. So he got time to spend on you. He got plenty of time to spend on you. What you want to know, what you need to know, what you're curious about, what you're not sure about. He knows how to confirm a thing, and he knows how to make sure you know that it was him, and he knows how to stamp that thing and seal it where you like, I know now.
Yeah.
I'm only speaking from experience.
And
Right.
when he
You know
do
what I'm
it,
saying?
can't nobody put us under.
No, you won't be shaken. You won't be shaken. But no, I don't judge you for questioning it. I don't judge you for wondering because see, and this is what he and I have talked about. I said I don't feel like heterosexual people are qualified to talk to homosexual people about their lifestyle because we don't have the experience to
Experience is very important.
exactly. I can't tell you how to live your life. I've never lived it. So how do I know what you're feeling, what you're experiencing,
Yeah.
what you grew up with, how you feel when you go to bed and when you wake up in the morning? I don't have that information. I don't know.
The same as you being a woman and us being men.
Exactly. You ain't never had no baby. I ain't had one neither. But I bet you I know before you do.
You will.
You know what I'm saying?
You will most definitely have the opportunity to know.
And I can tell you the whole rundown. Like, look, she gonna know before us. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, let me tell you how that was. Hey, sweat.
Labor.
I pulled it all in that man's face when I let me quit playing. But no, seriously, you know, I'm not gonna act like I'm qualified. You know, so I'm just gonna say, talk to the one who is. That's all I got for you.
I love
I just
that.
have Jesus.
I love that. And
That's
you know what? If more people in the church
Came to you like that.
had that mindset, I ain't even gonna say came to me like that. Because I understand if you practice, you know, certain behaviors and such, it's
Ingrained.
in you.
Yeah.
So I can understand how at first you might be a bit abrasive.
Yeah.
But for you to have the empathy and the compassion,
Empathy as well, like you said.
to even try to understand, like you said, I don't know.
Yeah.
But what I can do is not make you feel away
No.
for that.
No.
because of my ignorance.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. I don't have to do that.
You don't.
Because I just believe that if we believe that God is this
Mm-hmm.
all-knowing, sovereign God that created this whole earth, right? And He handled us with such care.
Yeah.
Per the scriptures.
Delicacy.
Handles us with so much care and dedication, and we're supposed to be an example of Christ, then why would I handle you so callously? And I'm trying to win you. If you're going to buy a car, you ain't going to say, well, I mean, I know you broke. I know you broke, busted, and disgusted. You ain't got enough money in your bank account.
To get a Movado.
Right. You could go to Sam's Club and get a Movado watch. You know what I'm saying? I know you can't afford this BMW, so I'm going to show you this putt right here.
Yeah.
No, that ain't how you sell no car.
That's not how you
Right.
sell
You
it.
say, well, you know what? We got programs for people with bad
There you
credit.
go. Yeah,
you know what
I
I'm
can
saying?
relate to that.
Guess what?
What?
We got them shirts for sale. We got them cups for sale. We got that merch for sale.
We got that merch for sale.
Oh, we got that merch for sale.
We got that.
Click the link in our bio on all of our social media accounts to get your merchandise today. That's why I'm like, I don't know why God got me saying this. I don't.
Because people need to hear it.
Because I ain't been planning on saying nothing.
This is not a conversation that I've had. And it's a conversation, like I said, that's probably been sitting almost 20 years. So it is, you know.
Well, it's good that you can encounter people such as us, where we are not judgmental. We are real individuals who come from real aspects of life. Yes, we love God. Yes, we come from a church background, but guess what? We still real. And we live in a real world and deal with real life issues on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And understand, it's going to take more than me belittling you, downing you,
That's
attacking you.
That's the worst way.
I mean, the word says itself, love and kindness.
Have I
drawn you?
thee? And why would I hate you? I just met you. I don't know you from Adam. I don't know you. But I know if I'm supposed to be an example and this is your one time that this is supposed to be your do-over, let's just say it's supposed to be that, right?
Are we back?
We
Are
back?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought y'all knew where y'all was going on with the conversation.
Look, we gonna keep talking.
We gonna keep talking.
We'll keep going.
We gonna keep going.
You know?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep talking this since we rolling. If this is supposed to be your redoing your opportunity, then why would I handle you callously? Why would I make you miss that opportunity?
And that's the part that gets me. Like, okay, so
Get into it.
if you want your congregation to grow, and you up there every Sunday, like I feel like every single Sunday, you are selling Jesus.
Pretty much. That's why I said car sales.
Like you are literally selling Jesus. And I don't know Jesus, but from what I hear of the man, I just can't imagine him
Being okay with this.
being okay with
Exactly.
it.
Exactly.
Well, he's not. See, that's the thing. He's not. Per the scripture.
But it's hard for me to know that if his
based on-
representative,
Also, what just was given.
because that must be what he about.
No.
I'm just saying.
And I apologize on their behalf. As a believer of Christ, you know, I don't owe you one,
Right.
but I'm still going to apologize.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stand in the gap and stand proxy and say, you know what? I apologize on behalf of this whole organization that made you feel that this is what Christ is really about, because it is not.
And all the others they may feel that way as well.
Yeah, it's not what Christ is about. But again, all I can tell you is go to him directly.
Yes.
Don't trust, because the Bible even say don't trust no man. Don't trust
Listen,
no man.
and it was written by a man and rewritten by another man.
You're right.
And broke down by that man.
Right. And that's why I'm saying, if you want to have a God like this serious,
You gotta go to the source.
go straight
Go
to
straight
God.
to the source. I got
We're
you.
going to go beeline
I
straight to
got you.
Jehovah's
I got
God.
We know how
I
to
got
go
you.
to the source with anything else.
Uh-huh.
Listen,
I'm calling the
source.
manager. Call the manager. Become Karen on these facts. Okay.
Because we can flip the switch when we need to.
Yeah. Stand on top like my man with the phone. I'm calling the Lord.
The whole Lord. Because, sir, just give me just a couple minutes of your time.
Right. He like, I got time.
Yeah, I just have a couple questions.
Look, I got time, man. What's going on? I'll let your boy.
What's on your mind?
Right. They told you I was on the main line. That much is true.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you go ahead, look. Where my Beyonce fans so I can pop.
First of all, Beyonce would never have met you a fan.
Let's get the business clear. But she
Yeah.
said it on the song. She was like, my wrist goes click. So she said wrist.
Yeah, but
That was just for the song.
Okay,
That
look.
was just for the song.
No, she stands and receives her.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Look, let me know.
360 her.
Wind comes.
Well, look, Lord sent some of that 360 there my way.
Look, do you hear me? Because you know we will perspire.
Right. Margie is hot. Look, the labor is going forth, Jesus. I need to stare. A fresh wind.
Oh man. Okay, so I don't know where we was in my progression journey.
Because we went into a whole spiel.
He needed to say something right there.
I did. I had to get that up. Listen, because you know, when I looked at y'all past shows, I knew that religion was gonna come up. It was no way for me to, you know, maneuver around. I got a good gab, but I can't gab that much. So I knew I was gonna get to it. So I just feel like if I brought it up, hopefully it will be easier for you guys to, you know, digest and come back. And you guys have done that.
And it seems that we made you feel very accepting because you brought it up yourself.
Yeah, I had to.
But
But I
even
didn't
if
want
you
y'all to bring it up.
No, we would have brought it up, but if you didn't feel comfortable,
We would have just.
we would
And
have.
I didn't want that. I didn't want that.
He wanted to tackle it.
Yeah.
Well, see, that shows that you already are having a yearn and wanting to know more.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna take all that,
Ooh.
but I did want to know more.
Okay.
Yes, I don't know if I'm gonna say yearn.
Okay.
I say use the wrong word.
Hey, that was a little strong.
A little curious.
A little strong. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a little curious.
Just a little curious. Just a little
Okay.
curious. But no, so I reached out. I started having guests. But no, reaching out to people that I didn't know. Like you said, having people in your home setting the tone. That's how we. That's how we went our way over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but after I had a couple of guests on, I started to, you know, kind of realize what works for me, what doesn't work for me, how to talk to people, how to allow people to talk around me. You know what I mean? Because again, when you're inviting strangers in, not only do you not know what they might do,
Right.
you also don't know how they really talk.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's very important to have at least a good conversation before you just, you know, start on
Break the
camera.
ice.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, you will cut the camera on and I will introduce somebody and then we'll stare at each other. I'm like,
What are you here for?
Right.
talk.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Get off.
Which, you know, but that all comes, you know, with time. So anyway, going into season 3, which is what I am in now, I think this year I put a lot more effort into it. I did a lot more curation of the guests. Like I said, last season I just kind of was just reaching out, just throwing spaghetti at the wall, whatever stuck. Which what stuck was great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was still at times I felt like I didn't really have control, and I think I wanted. How can I put this? I knew what I wanted my platform to be at that point. I didn't necessarily have the roadmap of how to get there, but I knew it involved bringing people in. You know what I'm saying? Reaching a wider audience. And like I said, for a while it was just, will you come, will you come, will you come, will you come? Some said yes, some said no. But over time, I started branching out even more. I started going to events and stuff like that. Like, I cannot stress to you, branding is important. Every time I go somewhere to somebody's event, everywhere I go, if they allow me, I'm wearing a Please Advise t-shirt.
Hey,
And like people have now started to, you know, kind of recognize what it is. Connected to, yeah. So they help me out a lot too. So going into season 3, now I'm a lot more selective with because now I'm not talking to you, I'm only talking to who I want to talk to. And I don't say that to come from a, you know, I'm me and you're you. I'm saying that because I know what type of content I want to put out. I know what structure I want exactly, and I like to think that I do enough research on my guests that they will provide they will
Bring
add
something
value
to
to
the
that.
table.
Exactly.
And that's something that we say as well. I mean, you know, we talk about all the time, like, I don't want to be bothered wasting no time with someone that's just going to be blah.
And not only that, just, you know, you coming here to soak up our energy, but you're not providing anything back into the system. You know what I mean? You just, you ain't had me on the show. What post did you like? What's your favorite episode?
Hey.
Take me in something with that too.
Hey.
That's our question. So what's your favorite episode?
Because how do you deal with that? Because you know.
You clearly got some experience.
You dealing with the no's.
Okay, so I
talk about all of it.
At first, I used to, and I say at first like it was so long ago, but
Your at first was your at first.
it was my at first, because I'm a winner now, goddamn.
That's it.
So at first, I used to feel a way when people would say, ooh, let me come on your show. And I'd be like, okay, well, what do you want to talk about? I don't care, whatever.
No.
At first, I used to feel a way. And then I'd be like, okay, we'll come on. And then I'll, find something, we'll talk about this. And then, I would go to, okay, so did you watch any episodes? And I'd be like, no, I haven't had time. Everybody is busy. But I feel like we make time for what we want to make time for.
That's right.
And again, I've said this several times on my own show. I do not expect anybody who watches my show to watch every single episode when it comes out, blah, 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 blah. However, if you call yourself a supporter or say you like the show, you've watched at least one or two.
Exactly.
And if I ask you, you should be able to say something about at least one or two episodes because you've watched.
Exactly.
So if you say you want to come on my show, but you haven't watched it, how do you know you want to come on?
Because what if my goals don't align with yours?
Well, that's a sip moment. I'll sip.
Listen. This is why I do one episode a day, because see, we be sipping, and normally when it be clear, but it don't.
It be ever in the
Hey. So, but no, like seriously, I just feel like, and again, I don't mind bringing anybody on to talk about any subject that they want to talk about.
Because you talk about a lot of stuff.
I do, and I want it to be a very diverse show. That's another thing. I love how some people have niches. Like y'all's, Pew Babies, of course, religion is y'all niche. And it's
But we
beautiful.
deal with a variety.
You do, but I mean, it's still a niche.
Yeah.
Still a niche. Whereas with mine, I didn't want to have a niche. I just want to talk. I want to meet people. I want to talk to people. I want to hear their stories. I want people to understand that no one story is better than another story.
Exactly. And then
You know what I
everybody
mean?
has a story.
And everybody has a story. And through everybody's story, there is some obstacles, some triumph that they make, and they learn something from that.
That's right.
And that lesson is what I want to share. Hence,
Please advise. And you never know who watching who may need that lesson.
just like y'all just said about me saying I had to step out and reach out to people. I would never have thought that anybody would have received that.
Well, I did.
Listen.
and acted, and we saw the fruits of acting on that thing.
Listen.
We standing in the fruit. Come on, somebody.
So
Yes.
thank you.
Yes. No. Again, thank you guys. So now what I do is I guess keep momentum. I do a lot of other things. Like people have been telling me once I started, seeing a couple numbers, you need to start doing other stuff. I thought all I needed was YouTube. Oh no.
Yes, we are at that point. We realizing that you don't talk about it.
We learned.
Yeah.
You need some other
It's
stuff.
the
You need some other
industry.
stuff. I had to start me an Instagram. I started me a TikTok. Twitter.
You be crazy on TikTok.
Listen, they should have never let me download TikTok. They should have never let me download TikTok. TikTok is amazing. It is. TikTok is amazing. It's like all my dreams come true in one. I can scroll. I can see people, pretend to do things, be themselves, watch commentary, and then I can, hit the record button, and then I could be there too.
Yeah.
Like,
And you can comment on their commentary.
That's right.
and make it your own.
Listen, I can stitch a piece of yours and say what I want to say, like which I do try to steer away from commentary.
Okay.
I like watching commentary, but I try not to make commentary because I don't want to narrow myself. Because once you start making commentary, you fall into that algorithm of whatever you talking about, and I don't want to narrow myself. So all my stuff, most of my stuff is, you know, the funny stuff that they do on there. So, but I absolutely do love it. But listen, that has brought more recognition because, like I said, when I make my videos, I try to, you know, wear my little please advise here and there sometimes. And then I, you know, try to thirst trap a little bit because
Single man out here.
I'm not quite not single.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to get him in trouble.
Girl.
I don't want to get him in trouble.
Not wait now.
Like I said, heterosexual people are not qualified
So
to speak on certain things. So I'm gonna be quiet.
you know what? And that's so funny because when I talk to my straight friends, mostly females, they always be like, "Oh, if I had a man, I'd never let him do what you do." And I'm like, "What? I'm not even doing. I literally.
I haven't seen nothing bad.
Thank you. Like it's literally just me, maybe with my shirt off. Like
You see shirt off a dude on
TV,
walking down the street.
on the beach.
Like that's so crazy, but.
But we know there is a such thing as thirst trapping, so we have to keep it
We
real.
do. So I play the game sometimes.
When you playing to win.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if these female artists would be with they, you know, BBLs and they boob jobs, thirst trapping, and
Why can't I?
they yet married. Come on, somebody.
Come on, we see a bunch of
somebody.
Meg, Nikki, Cardi, all the above, got it all hanging out for a reason.
Listen.
Because they
sex-
selling records.
Sex does sell, and it will always sell, and I will purchase. So I know that if I will purchase it, I can sell it.
So what did you see that made you really start getting a following and views and subscribers? Was it something that really hit, that worked, or was it just
Advertising.
Okay.
Advertising. Yeah, I will say that too. You are gonna have to spend some money. You're gonna have to spend some money.
it all is money?
You're gonna have to spend some money. You're gonna have to do some stuff for free. You're gonna have to do some stuff for free. But I would say the biggest thing is advertising. Even though, you know, Facebook has their own little advertising ways and Instagram and all those things do too, they all kind of work differently for different goals. Like I would say for Facebook, I don't necessarily advertise any of the reels, I guess, on Facebook because I don't feel like that's what Facebook is for. Facebook is more for like 2 to 3 minute videos. So when I release my episodes and I do like a little clip of what's in the episode, I will boost that because I need people to see that and, you know,
Just
receive.
pull them over and draw to watch the show.
Exactly. Whereas Instagram and, you know, TikTok is this. So I need it to be quick. I need you to just recognize the brand. I don't need you to necessarily point to the show. I need you to recognize the brand. And then eventually your social networks will connect to each other. So you will see me here in a different format, and then you're like, oh, he got a show.
That's him.
Yeah, that's him. Like, and it's happened. It's happened. People be like, oh, when they see me on Instagram, they be like, oh, okay. Oh, you got a whole show. Like, I saw you on TikTok. I didn't know you had a show. I do. Like, subscribe, share.
Then look, we get so tired of saying it, but you gotta keep saying it.
You have
like,
to.
subscribe, and
Yes,
share,
please. That too. And another thing,
because it's so hard to get like some people,
and subscriptions.
but
and
they'll
shares.
watch it and don't say
They
nothing.
will watch
comment.
it. That's another point.
I
That's
know.
another point. For me, when I first started out, I was all about, you know, likes and comments. I wanted it for the soul of me. I wanted all likes and comments because I wanted to be engaging.
Yeah.
But now I really don't care if you like or comment. It's about the view for me.
Okay.
It's about the view for me. Like people on social media like to make the narrative of, you know, people all in watching my videos, but they don't never like my stuff. They not supporting me. First of all, yes, they are.
Because they watch it.
Because
They
they're
gave
watching.
their view.
It don't matter if they watching the same video 50,000 times. There's still 50,000 views.
That's right.
You don't have to like it, but you do like it because you
Look at
You watch.
keep watching it.
Keep it
So
in attention.
I could care less about likes and clicks. I care about views, me personally. Now it is easier to engage when they make comments, yes, but I don't necessarily need those. So for me, you could view me all day and not like a single thing, but you are viewing me.
So have you had this issue with people trying to copy? Because we've run into this issue. So I want to actually pick your brain on that.
First of all.
Get your thought gathered.
First off.
Because clearly you would have had this problem.
First off, imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
That mediocrity can pay to greatness.
Ow! Say
I'm
something
gonna
else.
say because this is up.
So
That's my favorite quote.
I don't mind it. I guess maybe because I'm still growing and I'm still learning my way and getting in my groove, you know what I mean? So I don't mind it. Like,
You don't mind it at all.
Like it don't make you feel no kind of way, because I'll be pressed. I'm gonna keep it on.
Because I'm gonna say
I think it depends. Like, for me, I realize
well,
there
I
are
actually
very few original ideas left.
because I would say, what have they tried to copy or imitate you on? Because
I would say the way I do my showcases. Like, at the end of season 2, season 3, I normally bring all of my musical guests or comedians or whatever, talent they have. I bring them back. I let them display their talent. I rent out a venue. I invite people. They do their thing. It's exposure either way. So now I've started to notice the other podcast hosts are starting to have, kind of reunion
The same
showcases
format.
too. And I feel like nobody was doing that before I did it.
Right. I hadn't heard of that.
Exactly. Nobody was doing it before I did it. And I for one wanted to do it again, because when people come on a show and they talk, they normally don't get to, display their talent. They talk about what they do, but they don't really get to do it.
Yeah.
So I feel like by them coming back, they have the stage, they have an audience, they can really sell you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because on the show, you selling yourself as a person. But when you come back for the reunion, you selling your talent, your gift, or whatever, whatnot. So, and I like the dynamic of that. You know what I mean? So, but now I'm starting to see, different showcases pop up with the same kind of
Goal in mind.
and again, imitation is absolutely the greatest form of flattery.
That mediocrity can pay the greatness. That's the whole quote.
But again, it's the difference though. I can tell differences in how they doing it than how I'm doing it. So it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I've learned to be okay with it. I learned. It did annoy me.
because it is very annoying.
It did annoy me because I'm like, I just did this.
Right. 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, when we put out and you see you watch the show, so I'm not explaining, and so that you will get an understanding of where we're coming from, how it bothers us.
Okay.
Now, because we're not perfect and no one's perfect,
Right.
We're like the black sheep. Oh, they so unholy. You shouldn't want to be attached to them, do nothing with them. But these same people, pastors, all the above, Sunday morning using what we just did across the board.
Ooh, see, that's different.
That's why I wanted to see what you was gonna say.
That's completely different. That's completely different. But see, I'm forward. So I would be having conversations with my leadership, me, because I like to understand things. And when I'm confused, I ask questions. And I will ask questions until I am no longer confused. And sometimes those questions
Get annoying to the person being asked.
correct.
Uh-huh.
So, but you will understand my point. So if it were me and I was bothered by it, I'm asking questions.
Okay, so clearly we're not wrong.
No.
No, because if you have found a method that works, and for somebody to completely just take, and not only take it, but not even give credit.
No, wait, first, belittle you.
I missed that one.
And down and belittle us to others to not watch and view us and all the above. And you taking that same thing, repackage it, even using the same title. Now,
I don't like that. For one, I don't like to be judged, and I think that's probably the biggest thing that turned me away from religion and the church. I won't say religion. I'll say the church is the judgment. I hate to be judged in any facet of my life, except professionally. I need you to judge me professionally so I can know.
get better.
This is how we grew up.
That's right.
But in my personal life, between my friends and other stuff like that, I don't like to be judged. If I feel judged at any point in any relationship, I'm probably gonna sever that right there. Because and not because I'm ashamed of anything that I do. Because again, like I told you before, I'm grown.
Come on now.
Grown. So, and I have been for quite some time. So it took me a minute to grow into myself. But I've arrived. So if I'm not gonna be ashamed of what I'm doing, I will not let you attempt to shame me. Because you can't shame me.
Right.
But I'm not even going to let you attempt to shame me.
You so silly.
I can't. I'm too grown for that. No.
I have to look at the camera because he said it. I ain't saying it right now. So clearly he's validating that we got a point.
But yeah, I would definitely be asking some questions.
And then it's been even other individuals to reach out and say, that was y'all. That was you. Y'all did that first. And, you know, we are grown, we're mature, we're adults, but at the end of the day, we're still human.
Yeah.
And when you are putting in, and you know, when you're putting in all the research,
it's work.
This is the fun part of it. They don't get to see what all we do before we get here. And so that's what makes me upset.
Yeah.
Like, you don't understand all the sweat, blood, and tears, and all that I dealt
All the
with
frustration.
to get here.
Yeah, like you said, you curate your guest list. And all the time that it took you to reach out to those individuals, have conversations, all of thin blue air.
The divas that some of these people are.
And they ain't got a proper cushion or a window to throw it out of, but you got all the audacity.
All of that.
And you just like, okay, I'm just gonna be humble.
Listen.
It feels so good that someone that can relate.
Oh yeah.
I'm a simple man. I really am. At heart, I'm a simple man. And I just feel like, again, when you should always set the tone you expect to be carried. So I just feel like if I conduct myself, my business, my show, my lifestyle, whatever, in a certain way, it's not your place to try to A, correct that, or B, place judgment on that. Because I set that tone.
That's right.
I need you to either accept it or not accept it. And it's okay if you don't.
That's right.
It's okay.
That's right.
But don't pretend.
And then don't turn around and say that you don't accept it, and then but I'm gonna steal it though.
Yeah.
And use it for my own.
See, that's
the
worse.
deceit.
That's worse. That's
Plagiarism of its finest.
That ain't even plagiarism, because when people plagiarize, they don't down talk one source. They just
Well, them down talking is just trying to throw extra on top of it.
yeah. And again, I would imagine that all religious leaders all have the same goal in mind: get souls to Christ. So.
Now I'm gonna look at the camera.
So if that is your goal, how can you hinder somebody else's process?
I'm doing the same thing.
I mean, is it like a prize if you get the most souls? Like, do you sit closer to Jesus?
Not a prize.
Like,
That do you sit closer to Jesus.
I mean, because it has to be some bigger prize.
Not where I get the cracker jack box. Don't take my
Oh.
first game.
Oh, because he's talking some real right now. And to hear it coming from another perspective.
Right. That ain't been in our conversation or
Right.
anything. It's just like, okay, validation.
Yeah.
Validation.
And you know, we definitely have hurt, and that's how we can sit here and laugh about it, because
Yeah.
we have each other to bounce off of and be
Right.
like, okay, this makes me feel this way. How do you feel? Am I crazy? Because they trying to make us feel like we
They
crazy.
gaslighting us.
And then want to
yeah.
chase your gangster.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to
Yes.
do this and see how you act. What
And
you
see
going to
how
say?
you act. What? Why you gonna test me on mine?
Cause you don't know how far I'm willing to take it, baby.
Listen, cause I feel like it's mine.
We are gearing up for our new season. And you know what that means? We need you.
Yeah, so if you have a business, you're an author, you have a ministry, you have a testimony, you have a story to tell.
As long as they have something to offer.
Exactly. Make sure you contact us at pewbabieshow@gmail.com.
Where did we leave off? I can't even remember.
You know, and that's the part about great conversations.
Because
Exactly.
You never know where you left off. You just start anew. You just start anew.
See, I knew. Come on,
we just said that I knew.
all things.
Listen. Okay, so
Come on, Minister.
I guess
Tim.
to. Oh no, don't give me that much.
Okay.
Don't give me that much.
Don't give you that much. You
Don't
don't know
give
who
me
you
that
are in the background.
He said, well, if you asking him, it's a no.
much. At this time.
At this time.
At this time.
At this
time.
time.
Yes.
Well, see, he justifies the call. Whom he predestined, them he also called. Whom he called, them he glorified. No, them he justified. Them he justified. Them he glorified. If God be for us, who can be against us?
Who can?
And that's all we got to remember.
Look,
Yes.
While we
Lord.
dealing with these haters
Yes,
and
Lord.
spectators and copiers and
yes.
all the above.
But I mean, I feel like a lot of that is par for the course.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. Nothing.
Preparation.
You know, nothing worth having comes easy.
Yeah.
And I feel like all of those things are literally make. Well, let me rephrase the way I start that. I feel like all of those things make it worthwhile in the end.
Yes.
It's frustrating to go through. Ooh.
Oh, yes.
But when you look back, that's what hindsight is.
Make you appreciate.
It's gonna always be 2020.
I promise. I promise. Because, like I said, even the frustration of, seeing certain things being implemented, where you didn't mean them to be.
Mm-hmm.
But again, when you look at the end picture, you have influenced somebody. You have inspired somebody. Somebody who has probably been doing the same thing for a long time and not getting the results that they desired. And so you come along with your new influence and literally change their whole game. So again, hindsight,
Jesus.
you can be proud of that. But right now, you probably look frustrated. And I get that. And I get that.
Got me shaking. Because it's so true.
It is.
And like I said, you talking because you understand.
Yeah.
And it's hard, when we talk to family and, family gonna have your back.
Right.
But when it's someone that actually, once again, that word experience, you have the experience to know what we talking about, what we dealing with.
Exactly.
So you can relate.
Yes.
Exactly.
Relatability is amazing.
It's key in a lot of situations.
And that's what a lot of people need is somebody that can relate. And I think that's why we're, when it comes to, like I said, we're a church show, but not your average church. So
Correct.
That's how we're getting people such as yourself to come on because they feel non-judgment and be able to come. The atheists we've had on the show came on. You all made me feel like I could act. This is the whole goal.
If I had put into that search bar Pew Babies, and I would have scrolled and watched the episode, it would have been, scripture this, and I would have.
Now we do give scripture, but it's not the delivery. Come on,
The
somebody.
delivery is the whole
is
thing,
key.
Gabe.
It is.
And the topics that we bring up are topics that are on a lot of our minds, especially people in our
very
generation.
relatable topics.
Yes.
Very relatable topics. And again, like you said, to people of our generation, yes, absolutely. Because when I came on, you didn't tell me what we was gonna talk about.
Because we wanted to let
We
you know.
want to do the just We had enough faith. If I, just like you said, you did your research.
I did.
Keep it in a buck. Didn't I tell you? I said, I did my research. He can come on the show. And I said, and it ain't got nothing to do with views and none of that.
Yeah.
Because you can have 1 million views and you still ain't got ish. So, come on now. You got preachers that got millions of followers and they ain't getting no type of food.
Right.
I ain't gonna go there.
Empty calories.
Do you hear me? Up here eating on fast food and they ain't had a soul food meal in forever. So
Spirit just dead.
dead, decrepit. So, we appreciate having people. You laughing, I'm telling you, I'm keeping it a buck.
I believe it.
And I told her, I said, no, I think he would be someone being the dynamic and the demo that we're trying to reach.
Yeah.
People want to hear from people such as us, our age group, people who can talk from LGBT experience, this experience, that experience, because you get tired of hearing the same speech over and over, and you're seeing no type of improvement or no type of changes. But guess what? We still see the numbers going up on Pew Babies.
There you go.
We see that more people are tuning in, more people are following, more people subscribing because people
Right.
just like you who said, I didn't realize I needed to have that conversation that's been waiting there dormant for this long.
Exactly. And again, I cannot commend y'all enough on the variety of topics that y'all talk about.
Well, we thank you.
Listen, it's all about variety. It really is. Like I said, y'all are kind of a niche show, but not niche to the point where it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like y'all did an episode on marijuana. Like y'all had, you know. Like
I know you enjoyed that one.
Listen.
We had some of our elders say, I didn't know that you educated.
We had the elders give us
Reach one,
kudos.
teach one.
Yes.
Yeah, God gave me something about being relatable and experience, but
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to save that for this show,
Mhm.
your show. I can't wait to unleash it too.
If you decide to let us come.
Right, like if you in your, curation, you
You gotta
be a part of the gallery.
sift us through that thing. We paying attention.
I see.
Oh yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no. I've had a blast. This has been amazing. Okay, so to end my journey, the STL Award. So a couple of months ago, I saw a post come down, and it was like, I'm doing the STL Awards. I'll leave some stuff out because I just for time purposes. But anyway, I did not nominate myself. When she put the post up, it was you nominate your favorite podcast.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
anybody could do nominations.
Mhm.
So out of those nominations, it whittled down to the top 5.
Okay.
So luckily, I was in the top 5.
Mhm.
So once the top 5 was revealed, then you got to vote. So and then now this is the part where I did campaign. I did make like TikTok reels and vote for
Of
me,
course.
all that type of stuff. Cause
Yeah.
vote for me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying.
Exactly. I would have just
Me.
said, you got tired of me.
Right. So then they had the award ceremony. I went to the award ceremony. I didn't think I was gonna win. I didn't. Not because I didn't think that my show was the winner, but because of I know how these games are played sometimes. And I'm so serious. I know how these games are played sometimes. I know it's a popularity contest. I do know that, I'm, gay. So, only a certain audience will be as accepting.
Exactly.
So I knew those, what's the words I want to use?
Dynamics?
No, I knew that those were, I guess, strikes against me already.
Okay.
Coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was very new to it. Well, not very new, but only about a year and a half into it. So I consider that new. I was new to it. I didn't know a lot of the movers and shakers in the scene. So I never thought I would win. But, I ran a campaign. I guess people liked me. And thank you guys so very much. And that's that.
Yeah.
And since then, I can definitely tell that it has brought notoriety to my name. I really can. Because like I said, you guys reached out, not only y'all, a couple of other people, you know what I mean? So and that's what I'm doing now is I'm on tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We on your tour.
On tour.
Yeah.
But we can say we asked before the win came.
You did.
Yes,
We was in the book.
Yes, we
You
did. Way before the week.
Well before.
Okay.
Correct.
And you said yes. We can say
Yeah, I was coming.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
I was definitely because I had already saw y'all show before y'all reached out
and
to
we
me.
didn't even know.
Really?
You didn't even tell me that.
You hit saving that nugget for the show.
You just shut up.
Because again, going into doing podcasting and hosting a show, I have to know what's out there, and I can't be so naive to sit in my own bubble and just hope. I gotta reach out. I gotta see what works. Yeah, I gotta see what's going on.
Yeah.
I need to see what other people are doing. I need to see what trends are. Yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I did know of the Pew Babies before you guys reached out to me. I was not as big of a fan before you reached out as I am now. I will admit.
Well,
But
thank you.
You wasn't against us.
I was not against
And we take that as a win all by
Yes,
ourselves.
yes. We take those support.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I've had fun. So, before I leave, I do want to give you guys small tokens of my appreciation for having me on today.
Oh,
now,
you
before I do this presentation, I want to talk to these people out here.
Okay.
When y'all go on people's show, podcasts, events, venues, bring people stuff. Like, remember when we was younger and we would watch talk shows and they would have guests and they guests will always bring them something, a picture, a lamp, a mug,
Flyer or something.
whatever.
Yeah.
Book or something.
I feel like we need to go back there. I'm not saying you have to bring me nothing when you come on my show, but all I'm saying is people are very nice when you bring them stuff.
Yeah.
And we gonna know we ain't got this beautiful back. And how you know my color?
See?
My God, see that lets you know it was ordained.
Yeah.
But we did give you something to as well.
They did.
Now
They did.
don't judge us, y'all, because we didn't know he was finna bling us out with
Right.
the
We
bag.
didn't know we was gonna get
So
a
when we
gift.
come on, please advise, we gonna have to bring.
You know.
No, listen.
We gonna have to do it up.
I want people to know, please advise it's not just a show. Please advise it's an experience.
Okay.
Oh,
No matter if you come to me or I come to you, it is always an experience.
We
Yes.
definitely had an experience today.
Yes, we did.
Can we? I was just
Oh,
gonna say,
okay.
can we open our
I'm
stuff?
probably left because I'm telling you, I'm keeping my blue bag.
Christmas came early.
Yes, it did.
You know, I'm like my grandma. I
And
don't
this
want
is
to
my
mess up
favorite blue.
the paper.
Yeah, I put a little effort into it. I put a little effort into it.
Yes, you make me feel bad because we ain't got yours in one. But
Listen.
we gonna make up for it.
But this is great. I tell you, I am easily impressed. This is great.
Oh, see.
And then red is another one of your favorites too. It don't have the candle, the blue.
No, it don't want to get the blue at all.
I didn't know blue was your favorite color.
This is
I would have got you a
my
blue.
favorite.
I would
blue.
have got you a blue shirt.
I look at the blue behind you.
I do see all this.
That's blue couch. All of it. I'm a
Look,
blue
you talking. I'm opening my gift.
I'm sure.
So we gonna have to wear these
On where we
if
go.
we get blessed.
Now listen,
We
when you
get
come
carried
on-
away.
wait, listen. When you come on the show, you get your own shirt.
Okay.
You get your own shirt. You don't have to wear them. You have to wear them.
Oh, we get a different shirt.
When people come onto the show, I let them choose
But
what
why he
they
just-
color scheme. I just chose these for y'all. But when people come on the show, listen again. Please advise is an experience. Anybody who has been there, they'll tell you.
Well, I'm ready to go.
I'm rich.
Season 4.
You and gave us something to wear on another episode.
All right. This might get warm tomorrow.
Yeah, because we still yet shooting, so we go. You see, gonna be like, look at him repping me.
Look
But
at
yeah,
him ripping.
Right,
Be so proud. Be so proud.
Because we gonna rep. Okay.
Now
now,
the second thing, I don't know if y'all gonna use that as
Oh,
much
it's something
as I use
else.
them.
I ain't even see.
you got to get down in the bag.
Yeah.
See, you spoiling us.
Ooh, okay.
I listen. Now I use mine at home quite
These
often.
are nice.
So I don't know how often y'all gonna use y'all's, but
These are very nice.
Yeah, these are nice. I'm trying not to.
Don't break it.
because I ain't bring no
Look,
extra.
look. Okay, look.
I ain't bring no extra.
These are really nice.
Thank
Glad
you.
like
Thank
them, glad
you. Now we're gonna take communion in ours.
Yes. Bring please that man to the community. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We definitely think you
Thank
you went
you.
above and beyond.
Yes,
dude.
you did.
So
This
we
Look,
truly.
hold up your shirt. Hold out the blood stained down. Look at what he gave us. This is quality. This is a
And
spirit of excellence.
see, this just goes back to and we closing, but this shows you ain't. We know each other from past, but
Right.
it shows you how people who don't know nothing about you or treat you better than people in the church.
Ooh-wee.
And I'm gonna say that.
Ooh-wee.
Now, y'all can take it how you want it. That's another ouch moment. But once again, you need to take us out. Here it is. Now, you heard him. He ain't thinking nothing about the church because how the church did him and made him feel. But he still got enough mind to give.
Yeah, because
God loves a cheerful giver.
I need to represent myself well.
And you're doing it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
sir.
it's small stuff like this where the love of Christ can be shown and infused.
Simply.
Simply. Because now I'm like, shoot, I'm excited. I hope we make the list.
You good. Stop saying that.
I hope we get the number.
Are we going to be sifted through?
Right. I want to be in the number so I can wear my merchandise and have my.
But he said we can
Welch's-
wear it so that we have
Hey,
to
you
say
said
we
we
get a
can wear
different
it,
shirt.
Well, I'm definitely gonna have my Welch's grape in here, my sparkling, and have me a piece of cracker, and have me some
Yes.
communion.
Yes.
I got you.
In his name, oh
I just
glory.
need you to show up. I will have all of that for
You
you.
ain't got to worry about that. We going to show up.
We gonna do communion. You better have me a whole sandwich. I want a piece of cracker.
Listen, please
I'm
advance
not
is
no
very
small
accommodating.
girl.
Please advance is very accommodating.
I thank you.
I thank you
You
so
called
much.
us all the way
Oh,
up.
I am popped. I will say.
But
I'm
no,
popped.
seriously.
Thank you.
No. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
I am. so honored to, you know what I'm saying, be asked to come on anybody's platform, but to be able to come and express myself freely, not feel judged, you know, build a good rapport.
Yes.
I feel like beginnings of great friendships. Like, and again, that's why I say Please Advise is more than just a show, it's an experience. Every person I have on the show, I like talking to them. We remain in contact afterwards. Like, it's a whole thing.
Yes.
It's a whole thing.
Most definitely.
And I appreciate y'all.
And that's how you leave a lasting impression.
Exactly. And then you never know where you're gonna go in life.
You never know.
I might be able to help you with something. You might be able to
Because I
help
be
me
doing
with
stuff.
And
what I do is ask.
And it's good to know when you can call on someone and know I know what they're gonna do and what they bring to the table and they have my back.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So we appreciate you. Thank you.
I appreciate y'all. No.
We are
Thank
so
you guys.
humble.
Yeah, I seen it and I'm proud. That's why my gift's still on the table.
Right, I'm holding my bag like we baby. I'm holding it like
It's so pretty.
it is. That's
Alright.
why I wanted to fold everything back to everything right. You see, I'm trying to preserve this bag.
So that being said, we hope y'all had a good time. We definitely had a good time.
Yes, thanks.
We appreciate you coming on the show once again, Nook. Give them the information for Please Advise.
I will. So, Please Advise. More prominently on YouTube, that's where you can, that's the only place you can catch full episodes, is on YouTube. It's Please Advise. If you hit Please Advise, you will see a circle with this design in there. That's how you know you're at the right place. I'm also on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, of course, all Please Advise. I like to be simple across the board. Please Advise Nook everywhere.
And in that order.
In that exact order.
So,
And if you so happen to subscribe, please share it out.
in that order.
In that exact order.
So until next time, we had fun, and we'll see you on the next Pew Baby Show. Peace.